In terms of how I got involved with Status, I had been involved with Bitcoin from very, very early on and realized that there was massive potential in terms of implementing an alternative financial system that people could access without the need for any intermediary or other institution to sort of like control their flow into like these alternative economic systems. But all Bitcoin really managed to do, particularly in Africa, was replace, governance and bureaucratic barriers with technical ones. And so the fact that we have to have, like specialized hardware or, great technical skill to actively take part in these networks was really just another barrier that meant that, a lot of the rhetorical promises that had been made about permissionless access and the ability to innovate on these open networks just wasn't really realizable for, a lot of the people that I live and work with. And so as soon as Ethereum came along and the sort of promise of a Turing-complete blockchain was actually implemented and put into production, Status was one of the first projects out there and was very strong about saying, this is not just about the next generation blockchain, but we need to actually get these tools and the ability to participate actively in these networks into the hands of people that most need it. My biggest takeaway from EDCON is, again, the sense that the people that are already behind this technology and building the stuff that is going to power a lot of the future are just so much more interesting than merely technical folks who are capable of writing good code and building the systems that are required. So like I say, I've learned a huge amount, particularly about scaling and sharding. There's been some really, really great talks from Vlad and Carl and Gavin in particular. Some of the most fascinating ideas that I've ever heard around consciousness in particular. And so we had this conversation that lasted an hour and a half, had absolutely nothing to do with blockchains. And yet this is precisely what I mean in terms of being able to build viable and sustainable communities. You need people that have, really a broad range of interests that extends beyond merely what we're doing here from a technical level. If we're going to be able to build communities that actually are sustainable in the future and, capable of sort of using the technology and the tools that we're building in a beneficial way for as many people as possible and ensuring the sort of equitable distribution of value throughout the world, then we need to make sure that the people that, we're actually involved with and the people that we sort of choose to emulate are not just computer scientists and programmers, but people who have a wide and deep understanding of various different aspects of reality.